Welcome to the Squad Games Podcast. Squad Games Podcast.
So, Giacomo.
Yes, sir.
You know, a magical thing happened today. I woke up and my wife knew that there was a balanced Dataslate before I did.
Wow. I found out from Layla on Instagram. She posted it on her story.
Oh, yeah?
At like 6:30 in the morning.
I think Layla also posted, she was also wrote some stuff in the article
That's
for
correct.
the Dataslate today. Yeah. That's awesome. Layla's pretty cool.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they changed a lot of stuff. The thing that annoys me the most about the Dataslates is that they do changes via like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. The problem is when you go back and you look at the changes, it's 1.1 for the team. It's not Dataslate 1.1. Right. So when I'm looking through some of the teams, I'm like, wait a second. Did this team get an update or did Hearthkin not get an update? You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea. Like,
it should have been.
There's an update there.
Right. It should have been super simple, like Q2 or something. Like, it's this.
I was hoping it'd be like 1.3 for everything because it's the third Dataslate for everything. But instead they're like, oh, this is Dataslate 1.1 for Rekkas.
Right.
You know? And I'm like, oh, right.
Okay.
And the only reason why I know Rekka's got an update is because we had a rules question already. Like today, whenever a Dataslate drops, my day becomes very, very busy.
Questions, man.
Yeah, I have a lot of people being like, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, this team got buffed. What do you think about Deathcore? Hey, this, hey, that. I'm like, I don't mind it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, that is how my life goes on the days of Dataslate drops. I don't think my Wednesday is going to be very eventful, and then it becomes very, very eventful.
We were just talking about it yesterday too, saying it is in May, and I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen either,
And here we are.
Yeah. So here's a crazy thing, okay? Today, we have figured out how to live stream our podcast to Patreon. So shout out to our patron members, right? I believe we have 3 viewers. We didn't tell a single person that we were going to do this because David hit me up yesterday or this morning and was like, hey, this will be a good idea. And I was like, hey, gee, this would be a good idea. So we are live streaming that. They are talking currently in the side chat. We will try our best not to respond to them because I'm not going to be looking at them very often. If you want to join our Patreon and be able to look at this kind of stuff live, feel free. We are kind of figuring out how to do this. So this live chat is 12 minutes longer than it probably should be because we're trying to figure out how to do stuff. It's technology. The other thing is, I'm pretty excited that we're trying new things and trying different things. And I want to just give a shout out to David early on and a shout out to Alexander Popov because I played him last night in a battle report. Currently, you can see our past 6 battle reports on Twitch. We are currently working on transferring them over to YouTube, getting music and all that kind of stuff set up for them. So, Giacomo, back to the Dataslate.
Yep.
Exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff. A good amount of changes.
Do you have dice? Do I need dice?
I just have them because I like to fidget with stuff. I took these from Spain. If any
I don't know what you said, G.
I stole their dice. So.
Oh, okay. See, I have dice now too. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to roll a dice. I rolled a 4, a 3, and a 1.
I've got a 2, 1, 1, 3. All right, it's a miss. But yeah, this Dataslate, it's a bit of a roller coaster. If I had to give it a review, because there's parts where I like it goes up and down.
Okay. To be honest, I've only been able to look at the first few teams. So you're going to get Dakotah's live reaction on some of these things. My day got taken up with a lot of narrative stuff. I have been developing and working on the mechanics for our narrative event at the Las Vegas Open, which is awesome and is cool. And I'm doing something where I have created basically a new equipment pack for Kill Team. And there's about like 18 to 20 new pieces of equipment. And a lot of them I have built. I think I have a laser fence right here. It's pretty cool. Little laser fence. It acts like razor wire, but is a little bit different. Getting those transferred to cards and a bunch of other stuff currently for the Mesozoic system. All right.
Yes. So if you're going to be at LVO, consider joining that before it fills up.
Absolutely. I believe tickets should go on sale soon. I think I have another meeting with the Frontline Gaming here very shortly. G, can you hear that by chance?
I don't think so. I think you're sounding pretty clear on my end.
Just making sure. Somebody is vacuuming right above me.
No
The great thing about Shure microphones.
Picks up a lot of stuff.
Does. So, Giacomo, which team do we want to go over first today? Do we want to go over the Warhammer community style, like no statistical relevance, no statistical anything? Also, another crazy thing, real quick, they did go, maybe we should go over the Warhammer community bit, because they specifically said that they addressed every team, or they addressed teams with under 45% win rate. And I don't know if that's 100% true.
I think they tried to get it as accurate as possible based on their data. So that is a good thing to look over, right?
I do think it is probably at the time that they wrote the Balance Dataslate, that's what happened, right?
Yes.
And then however long it takes to edit it, get it in all the different languages, prepare it for the app, and then push it out, the statistics would definitely change. And currently, Sanctifiers have a 75% win rate. You know, that's another interesting.
That's a huge one based on our data. Yeah. I do like that they tried to not necessarily debuff too much. They tried to raise everyone up instead.
Okay. They didn't try to give Warp Coven a nerf?
Oh no, there's nerfs, but like,
okay.
You'll see as we keep reading.
I've looked at like the first 9 teams here, but there's like 40 something teams. So this is going to be a long one.
Quite a lot. Should we start in order to make it easy?
What, Vespids?
That would be the first.
Because that's the first. That's in the thing, right?
Yes, that is correct. And it's one thing. Can they please alphabetize this? Please.
I know.
Please.
I don't think they listen to our podcast, Giacomo. I'm relatively sure.
Someone who listens to us that's connected to them, be like, hey, yo, it'd be really cool. What if you alphabetize that stuff, I'm just saying,
Yeah, so first up, we have Vespid Stingwings, and they have the update 1.2. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 changes here.
Yeah,
that's exciting. G, are you familiar with everything, or do you want to lead the charge on what's been changed?
I'm fairly aware of most things. I'm sure I forgot it as I was reading it throughout the day.
Okay, that's fair.
So the big thing with Vespids, if you just needed to know one quick thing, is they got an extra operative.
Hell yeah,
that's the easiest one. Everything
that's crazy.
Yeah. So now you have the extra warrior, awesome, which is awesome. I think they needed that for a while. So if we go down the errata, you're going to see the ploy sting. So let's just start this here. So they now hit. They increased their hit by 1, so I believe they're hitting on 3s now with lethal 5.
Are they
sting ability?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but
how does sting work? How does sting work though? Oh man, I can't. Also, every single thing got updated with cards, and I can't stand it.
I totally get it.
Okay, what? Yeah, is it a faction equipment?
No, it's a ploy.
Ploy.
Yeah, it's a ploy. It's a strategic ploy.
Sting. Okay, improve the hat. Okay, that's exactly what it said.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
So buy 1 and gives lethal 5 and shock. Dude, I am scarred from you using this exact same thing on my Blades of Cain, and I absolutely hate this change because it makes them actually monsters in close combat. So 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. And they gave Vet Guard what they did, and these guys hit on 3s?
Yeah, they hit on 3s with lethal 5 and shock, which is pretty good. Now, they're still a glass cannon, so if they go up against anyone who can really fight in melee, they will break them. But they can deal with a lot of small guys, which is very good. Very good for the team.
Dakotah live reactions is absolutely something to behold, everyone. I can't. Wow, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Hitting on threes. I mean, I know that like the vet guard got the accurate one in severe, right? We'll go over that later. But this is really, really good.
It's
for melee.
Very good. It's very good for the team. They kind of needed
especially into their bad matchups. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you had the oversight drone, which got his thing changed to just within 6, no longer needing line of sight.
Nice.
So that their weapons have lethal 5 and saturate. It's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
It just because that makes sense if they're like they probably have an earpiece or something. I think of it like Caster can. They communicate it that way. So it's a pretty simple one. I think they needed that too, just to not be so reliant on line of sight for these teams. And now we have the long sting operative, which is their sniper. So whenever an operative that has one or more of your neutron fragment tokens is activated, inflict D3 damage on it. Then each neutron fragment token for each one it has, and then roll separately. This is cool that it does the additional damage, but I think most things weren't going to survive the sniper's shot anyways. Like outside of elites, this is pretty much for elites to deal with elites.
Interesting.
Yes.
What is this? Did they fix the Sky Torch guy?
They did. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I guess
we'll find out. Let's go check it out. It's going to be a long podcast.
It's going to be a long one. From what I understand,
if you clicked on the video, I'm sure. I don't even know how long it's going to be just quite yet.
Yeah. So you use it. You create a torch zone, which is now their ability, the Sky Torch Assault.
Where is he? What's he called?
He
Sky
is
Blast? No.
He is the Swarm Guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So perform a free reposition action with this operative for 2 AP. During that action, it must fly and can move an additional 2 inches. So he moves 8 inches. Then perform a free shoot action. You can only select a flamer Sky Torch for that shoot action. Okay, obviously. And the Sky Torch is a really, really long paragraph. Why? Okay, so...
Yeah, it's basically saying when the fire hits opponents.
Everyone in that zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's move this.
It is
from where the model is until it goes in a straight line. Everyone he hits, it hits. Okay. Torrent 0, cool beans.
Yes.
So what was wrong with the ability in the first place? I heard that it wasn't good and no one took him because it was bad.
It was where when you could do the flamethrower shot was weird, and this hits better. It's clarification reasons, so it's something with the timing. I'm not 100% sure, but it got improved, which is awesome.
No, I think the magenta means up balance, right? Blue means clarification.
FAQ, clarifications.
Yeah, so this is some sort of an actual change, right? Hopefully it makes it better. I don't know. If you guys know, you should let us know, right? Okay, well, hold on. I could probably check our live chat to see if they know. No, they're just talking about trivia. Okay, that's cool.
I get that too.
All right.
But no, those are all moves they really needed. They needed the extra body because realistically they are glass cannons. They'll just break. 10 wounds seems like a lot, but like they're not durable.
And this might make the team good. I'm excited. They're definitely, I think Orion put them like D tier or something like that.
They might have a little bit more play now. I can see them hitting the C.
What was their win rate? I guess I'll go to
squadgames.net, squad-games.net for all those people listening.
Yeah. Let's go
and
here.
You can check out the stats. Thank you, David, for getting us those stats.
Thank you, David. He gives us all the good stuff.
He is our stats man.
All right.
Because I believe this team probably has a lot of plays just because people own the models, but not necessarily have high win rates.
So there was nearly 9,000 games played this patch. 9,000.
Sounds about right.
That's a lot. That actually might be the most we've ever recorded, and that's with LVO. So Vespids have a 35% win rate with only 107 games, so not a terribly popular team. 35% win rate. I mean, they got 6 updates, 5 of which were balance. It's pretty decent.
Right now, Sting I think is nice because any team that
well, they already lose to those melee teams typically.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily for fighting them. They can do some additional damage, but it's more for just small teams that maybe want to just stay in combat, and now you have a better chance of one-shotting them and getting them off of you so you can start flying again.
Hitting on 3s is incredible. Absolutely.
It's very good. It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very good. This is a good change. Is it going to make the team go higher than where they are? No, I think they're still sitting comfortably at a high to mid C.
High to mid C. Okay.
High to mid C. I think they're still sitting pretty good there.
I mean, I could see them being, because when we look at it, let's look at it the way we last looked at it, everything. 55 and up is S tier. Okay. We'll go 55 to 50% win rate typically is going to be A tier. 50% and lower is going to be B. 45 to 40 is going to be C, and then D tier is anything under that. Because typically last edition, there was rarely any teams below a 40% win rate outside of Angels of Death at the end of the edition and a few other teams.
Right.
This edition, that's definitely not been the case. I mean, do you think that these guys can't be at a 35% win rate anymore, which is D tier? So yeah, I could see them getting up to C, maybe to B, maybe this gets them up to 45% win rate,
Maybe. I mean, the neutron fragment weapon rule is nice just so that they can really deal some damage to some armor.
I think it's the operative, man. The extra operative is huge.
That too.
Huge.
And honestly,
goremongers need to go down one model and they can keep all their rules, That's my hot take. -1 operative. Screw Corn's magic number. Yeah. And then they can keep all the same rules. It's just really simple. Because when I look at the team and I realize I've killed 2 of them. I have 5 left. I just get really sad inside. Okay.
I get
Blades of Cain's up next.
Blades of Cain's up next. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So let's move on to them. I know almost nothing because I felt like
I
believe reading it and then
I believe the dire. That's fair. I believe the Dire Avengers just got balanced I believe. So
yeah. So some of these are going to be really fast changes. Almost.
Firefight ploys, Fading Light. Use this Firefight ploy during the Blades of Cain's operative's activation before or after it performs an action. So let's go on up to Fading Light real quick. All right. I'm guessing that's going to be a faction rule for Dire Avengers.
Yes, that is correct.
Do you see it?
I'm looking for it.
I don't see it. I don't think it is.
Oh, there might be a play. All right. I'm also not as familiar with this team.
Fading Light right here. It is a firefight ploy. Use this firefight ploy during a friendly Blades of Cain operative's activation before or after it performs a dash action or before it performs an action. Okay. During that activation, that operative can perform the fallback action for 1 AP less.
Uh-huh. 1 sec.
That's interesting. Giacomo cares so little about Blades of Cain that he left everyone. Can you guys believe that? I can.
Sorry,
I'm going to talk as much crap about G before he comes back. And we're back. Yeah, so I think this is interesting, Giacomo, I was just talking major crap about you when you took off your headphones.
Amazing.
It was very funny. I thought it was funny. Okay. So it can perform during that activation, that operative can perform the fallback action for 1 less. So what? You can charge somebody, then use this ability, and then fall back for 1 AP less with your 3 APL? Or they can use it before the activation, so they can fall back for 1 AP and then shoot somebody? Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty good. Anytime that you get a fallback for 1, I was using it yesterday against the Exaction Squad.
Yeah, and it works.
It can. You know,
and it's a decent change. Like it's just a clarification. It's not really a change, just so that people know like when does it activate. Now we know when it activates.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
And Blades of Cain had a win rate of. They got a small clarification. It was a clarification because it wasn't magenta; it was blue.
Yes. So just to make sure everyone's
but there are some clarifications that actually nerf teams, like Nemesis Claw. Nemesis Claw got a huge Into the Dark nerf.
Huge, which we'll get
absolutely enormous.
And I'm for it, even though I play the team just because flavor-wise, it never made sense that you could do that, but competitive-wise, absolutely abuse that rule. Absolutely.
Yes. So according to the most recent statistical data, Blades of Cain have a 47% win rate. So whenever they took the data from Blades of Cain were obviously not winning as much as they are currently. So interesting.
All right.
What's up next, G?
So we got Sanctifiers. This is a super easy one.
We don't need to pull this one up. This one's really simple.
Yeah.
You can't use Lead the Procession Turning Point 1.
That's it. Now, this is great for not having to worry about the slingshot early on, but I still think having Lead the Procession isn't going to kill the team. I don't see it in any way that they're killing this team. This is still like
a lot of times if you used Lead the Procession Turning Point 1, you could easily overextend yourself. This just promotes a healthier gameplay style. So you can't nuke everyone on Turning Point 1. Instead, you can nuke them on Turning Point 2, but there is a little bit more counterplay. I will give them that.
Yes.
There's a little bit more counterplay when you can't just like move up and absolutely annihilate somebody, but you could just stay in your deployment zone and not do anything and still do everything.
And this falls in line with a lot of the other abilities other teams have that we get to move up the board, but it doesn't happen till turn 2. So like this is good. I'm glad
you could even you could let yourself get charged on Turning Point 1, and then you could use Lead the Procession on Turning Point 2 to fall back with your operatives after they've been charged early on in Turning Point 2. There's a lot of crazy stuff that you can do with them. It's
There's a reason
Nemesis,
they're winning.
Yeah, Nemesis Claw is up next, right? I'll pull them up. Nemesis Claw is super simple. They cannot use their dash ability here. What is this called? Return to Darkness. Return to Darkness everyone was using because you couldn't measure through walls. So technically you could dash straight forward. So people would do like the dash and then they would use Return to Darkness and they would get like a 7-inch move on Into the Dark. And then they would just like run up the board with a 6-inch move, open a door, and then throw one of their toxic grenades at you, and you would cry because there's literally nothing you could do.
It was especially such a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely had used this before, and even I kind of felt like a dick afterwards. Like, I can't believe I just did that. This is so mean. This shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah. Again, this is update 1.2.
Oh, yeah. See, this is that update thing we were talking about. All right. Exaction got a bunch of stuff.
Exaction got stuff?
They got stuff.
Let's see here.
Hey, after the game yesterday, like, this is exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Exaction isn't, you guys have to watch the video to see how Exaction did into my Angels of Death against Alexander Popov.
I guess maybe not so much stuff as more of just clarifications. I thought they got more. Maybe my memory is losing it.
I mean, I think there are okay changes. They didn't have, they weren't terribly statistically.
They weren't terrible, yeah.
So, G, do you want to take us through these?
Yeah, so your execution order. So the next time your opponent would activate the enemy operative is when it does it. This is for that severe thing you can keep dropping, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can, it's when it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to be honest, Alex was being like, this guy has this, he has this, he has this, he has this, and he has severe. I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you use this at the end of Firefight Fade, select an enemy.
To be honest, Alex could have lied to me. He could have lied to me because Exaction seems so utterly complicated. And I was like, how does this guy has what? And then I charged his leader with my leader. And I was like, what do you mean I deal no damage? You just parry out all my attacks? Aren't I supposed to be the one that parry out all your attacks? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah, because much like the what's the guy called in Mandrakes? Whatever that guy's called in Mandrakes, who activates you for you. Is that the guy?
The howler guy, the guy that screams at you that you're not allowed to do something, and then he can do something. That guy. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so that's what execution order essentially is. So they just needed to create the timing for that, so people know when it happens. Again, it's just FAQ, pretty simple. You have the Mallocator man.
He has lethal 5 now.
Yep, lethal 5 is pretty good.
Cool. Cool.
That's good. Decent team. Are
Pathfinders?
They the best, wow, this is the team that got changed. Yeah, you were telling me about this one on the phone.
Yeah, this one was. I think when I woke up this morning, I looked at 2 teams. First, I looked at Pathfinders. Yes, I looked at Pathfinders before I looked at Deathcore, and that is true because I was like, "Oh, what did they get? Did they get anything? Did they get +1 operative? Did they get -1 operative?" All right. So Pathfinders here, they have update 1.1. This is their very first change, I believe.
Right. Outside of Erratas.
Outside of Erratas. Faction rule. Add additional rule for marker light for 1 on marker light tokens are changed to read saturate and balanced. And balanced. They gave Pathfinders balanced. I'm not done. An additional rule for 2 marker lights, which you can still take a advanced marker light and you can marker light somebody and immediately give them 2, and then you get balanced and you get a 3 up to hit. That's awesome.
Yep.
And they get saturate.
Yep. Because you get saturate and balance for the first part.
Exciting. And then they also get Firefight Ploy's point blank Fulisade, which is if that friendly operative is ready and has an engaged order and is retaliating with a pulse weapon, you resolve the first attack dice. So, from my memory serves, we will go and check to make sure I'm not lying to everyone. Point blank Fulisade allows you to use your weapons profile instead of the operatives profile. So you now have a 4/5 pulse weapon in melee, shooting, and you attack first.
And you're probably hitting on 3s with
But since it's a firefight ploy, it is just once per turning point. Thank goodness.
Yes, and it does have some more restrictions. You do have to be ready, and you do have to be on engage.
Yes.
So it's strong, but there's a few hoops you got to have. This is probably the best turning point 2 and on once you've already shot stuff, or really turning point 3 maybe.
Think about this. All right, let me tell you how awesome the Shasla spam is now. Okay, I don't know. That's such a weird thing to say. Say it with me. Say Shasla spam.
Shasla spam. Do you want some Shasla spam from Kentucky's?
from Trader Joe's?
There you go. Yeah, it's like a food you could get. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So you could GA2 with guys, right? So you could move a guy up, right? You could marker light somebody, right? And then you could move up with your second guy. No, you can't because they only have 2 AP. If he has 3 APL, you could do it. Or you could just GA2. You could marker light somebody with possibly 2 with your super targeting thing, shoot him. And if he has bonded, he gets accurate 1, saturate, balanced, hits on 3s.
Yeah, this is a team. You got to do everything in your power.
If you don't kill him, you can GA2 with another homie and shoot him again.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty sick.
Probably in order to get this to happen, you probably have to stick a guy out there so that they charge him and then they kill him. And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to marker light 2 and then I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to shoot you again. You know?
Which Pathfinders historically has always had extra bodies. So you have sacrificial bodies. Like it's totally fine.
Yeah. It's fantastic. This team I think is very much back.
I think
100%.
I'm going to play him soft and put him in B tier right now, but the world can show me that I'm wrong and shoot him all the way to S.
I think they're A tier. I think they're going to jump from a 25% win rate, and I think people can pilot this team really, really well, and I think they're going to jump up to a 50% win rate.
I think I would agree, because being able to hit on threes and just having a bunch of dudes who could be like, yeah, I'll give a marker lights, it's fine, is very strong. And 4 or 5 damage on a weapon is nuts.
They also had the worst win rate. I think the second to worst win rate in the game. But down here, they had a 25% win rate. But the crazy thing is they only had 28 competitive games. So people have been sipping the juice, and everyone's like, oh, Pathfinders are horrible. Pathfinders are horrible. Okay, well, they crush Veteran Guard. Okay. But, I think that they're going to see a ton more play rate than this 28 for sure.
Yeah, they're about to make their comeback for sure.
The comeback kings, some would say.
Yep.
Wrecker Crew's up next. This is the one that is the most interesting for rules wise. I had Mike from LVO. He is a judge, or he was a judge. I don't know if he's going to be a judge again this year. Mike from LVO was like, hey, these guys are like, there is a rule that he wanted to see how I was going to rule it, right? Mm-hmm. Because rules as intended and rules as written very well may be two different things, okay? And that is with all expendable models. All expendable models got this rule, right? It is also ignored for victory conditions, such as scoring victory points if either require operatives to escape, survive, or be incapacitated by enemy operatives. So the original question was, can this operative pick up confirmed kill tokens? The answer is yes. This operative 100% can, just like it can deny contain, it can deny center line. It can do all those kinds of things. But the other question is, does this model drop confirmed kill tokens? In my opinion, since there is a tack ploy that requires a model to be incapacitated to drop a token that can be scored, in my opinion, I don't think so.
I'm agreeing with you 100%, because even if it drops the token, that token technically won't count as a point for scoring, because that token came from that body and therefore never could give you a point because it says it can't give you points. Or you would just make it easier. They don't even drop a token just to make it even easier.
But possibly as rules is written, when you drop a token from the tack ploy, tack op,
recover, or kill confirm.
Recover, confirm kill, which do I have it here? I don't think
because they drop one if you incapacitate one. So
if you incapacitate them, and it's not like a victory condition, it's not any of that kind of stuff. So it was a really interesting rules question, and I believe Mike disagrees with me. But that's the crazy thing, is like, when obviously there needs to be an FAQ for it now, because if he's a really good rules guy, he knows the rules probably better than I do, right? But objectively, I a lot of times will rule more on rules as intended, even if the rules say you can jump off of a ladder. That's not the case. You can't until, trust me, don't do it. Okay. I'm creating an equipment so that you can. All right.
Right. So I'm still looking at this insignificant change to meaning if it still drops a token, that token just won't get you a point if you decide to pick it up. Because it doesn't stop you from saying you can't drop a token. It just says you can't score points off this guy from it.
Yeah.
Which
so
to me
technically you could drop a token. Thus you could go pick it up because he's no longer there. But I don't think that you could score any points from this model being dead. I think that's what they're trying to say. I could be wrong, and if I can get a hold of anyone at Games Workshop, that would be awesome to understand. Yeah. Awesome to know.
Because I think it shouldn't give you points anyways.
Also, when I read expendable, it's like the end of this is like reading Spanish.
There's a lot going on.
I don't understand. It's like reading the new Vantage rule. I don't understand, right? It's too complicated for my brain. This operative is ignored for your opponent's kill and elimination op. when it is incapacitated and when determining your starting number of operatives. It's also ignored for victory conditions and scoring VPs if either require operatives to escape, survive, or be incapacitated for enemy operatives. If it escapes, survives, is incapacitated, determining how many operatives must escape, survive, or be incapacitated, etc. I don't get it. I don't know what it said. What is the Giacomo? I would literally have to copy this word for word and put it into ChatGPT and say, yo, what does this mean? I have not done that.
And it'll still come out weird. It'll still come out weird. Basically, for certain narrative games where you got to leave the board and stuff, these guys don't count for points for that.
Well, no, duh. Just say that.
I don't know why they didn't. Like, it's just like, I mean, I think to me it makes sense. Expendable says you can't score victory points off of this model. So to me, that's like, okay, so any points I would get or that would help me get to those points just don't exist on expendable models. Yeah, that's how I would see it. But I know everyone's going to be like, I'm going to take this part and I'm going to lawyer it up because that's, you've never really played a board game till you played with a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And interpretation of rules are fun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm trying to see if our chat has any sort of insight for us. No, doesn't look like it.
They're chilling.
They're probably still a couple minutes behind us. They say that Giacomo and Dakotah, in being specific, they made it obscure. I don't know what that means. Okay. And then David says that you're right. Of course we're right, David. You're our Patreon member and you're going to say we're right. That doesn't mean we are right. Thank you, David. Appreciate you, All right, what's up next?
Salvagers.
Salvagers? Did Salvagers actually get something, though?
They got a few changes, like actual changes.
They did?
It's not anything, like, crazy. So their Jump Warrior now moves to 7 instead of...
Oh, was that not a thing before?
It was 8, if I'm right.
Oh, so we got a nerf.
I believe so. I can't 100% remember. It's been a minute since I've played the team. But
so this is okay. So has move stat got changed to 7 from what it was? We have no idea. Okay.
And then for the Raid of the Clan, if you have 2 guys on objective markers, you control 2 of them. Objective markers, that is, you can reroll your dice to decide initiative. It's cool.
So I would imagine both of these are buffs.
I mean, I don't think it's changing too much more for the team. I think Rid of Clan is nice.
Claim. Rid of Claim.
Claim. Oh, you're right. I keep reading that wrong. There's on the page, the graphic goes into the word, so I just kind of quickly look at it.
Yep. Yeah, there's also a smudge behind it.
That's the part that gets me off when I look at it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. Yeah. I don't think it's changing much of the team where they kind of were,
Yeah, so they're 100% going to steal once per battle.
One reroll.
So you might be able to steal 2 initiatives with this, right?
Well, it's once per battle, so.
Okay. Well, don't they get something where you get to add numbers to it too? Is that also Writ of Claim?
Let's double check it.
Because I've had too many Hearthkin Salvager players be like, I'm going to steal the objective. I'm like, oh, I get that. I understand that. Thanks for doing that. So they have grudge.
Just the once per battle. After you're rolling off your initiative, you can use the rule. Reroll your dice.
Okay.
Yep. Just 2 guys have to control.
Okay. So this is possible. So now it's possible that you can do it twice. So you get a bunch of bonuses on 1, and then you get to reroll if you control 2. That's cool.
Yeah, okay. So and that's pretty cool. And it's another team that has a 3-up armor save, which I always like on a 10-man team.
Yeah. And I believe they had a relatively okay, they had a 44.69. 69. What a good number.
Pretty good, right? Lol. Pretty good.
Under the 45% win rate. Good job, GW. Good job. What's up next, G?
We
Imperial
got
Navy Breachers.
Void Dancer first.
Oh.
Breachers have something cool, I think.
Dancer's got 2 nerfs.
Yes.
They did. Mm-hmm. They on their Say Death ploy, they can only do what is Say Death? I read it earlier today. It was a relatively decent
I think Epic is
So-
the one where you go ahead.
Yeah, so they got you can only do whatever this reroll is during fighting and not during retaliating, which is good because that means it's only good for when you're being offensive rather than always like just having something at all times. And then they also got rid of something. They changed something on accolade and they changed it to balanced. So
Yes.
yeah, that's relatively all right. You know, I mean, I'm not sure what it was before. That's the one thing that I also find frustrating with these changes in these
There's
documents.
No previous changes.
It doesn't say like what it was. It's like sometimes it'll like have just like a crossing out of something, which is nice. Like here they had a crossing out for
retaliating.
For this retaliating. So we knew that they got rid of that. But when this is whenever this operative is fighting, maybe it was whenever this operative is fighting and it's retaliating, you know, the accolade, its melee weapons have the balance special rule. Maybe it's
right.
maybe they got rid of retaliating in both.
Right. You were able to
No
do, yeah. So now it's just only on fighting, which is fine. It's a bit of a nerf. I don't really see this being the worst thing. I'm sure there's instances where like I wanted to do that on retaliation. Now I can't.
Yep.
Yeah. It sounds like so far, our elves have come out okay. You know, one okay. One was just an FAQ. The other one was a little bit of a nerf.
Absolutely. We have breachers next.
Yes, we do.
Which is exciting.
Breachers are cool because they can. They have a rule which I always wondered who was.
By the way, G, from here on out, I have not looked at anything. I don't know what's coming.
It's completely.
I don't know.
To this.
Yeah, I only got to look at 9 teams today before we had to do this. I was too busy. So I was too busy making new equipment and getting lost in that ADD tunnel where you just go, you know, on one track.
It just never ends. So Navy Breachers, they have their deckhand changed. So before or after it performs an action, the operative can move through one accessible terrain feature without it counting as an additional 1 inch, and or perform a free operating hatch.
That is so lame.
Yeah,
that is so lame.
They just move through doors.
Like I've
points.
advocated getting rid of the access, the tax on all Into the Dark anyways. So you have to spend a command point and one model gets to move through a feature without the 1 inch tax. I guess it's good for your like Melta if you're trying to get to the other side of the door.
Right. And you want to blast something open. That's kind of the only real thing I see. And then,
but even then to get within 2, the doors have to be parallel because it's at basically 8 inches. So that means you would have to move a full 6 inches to get within 2 of somebody touching an open doorway on the other side to be within 2 to shoot. So I guess there's a reason to have the -1. Like I guess it's okay.
Yeah, this guy he can go through doors really well.
Fantastic.
And then the
that
Geist
is so cool.
And Cat are expendable changes from previous stuff.
Okay.
That's it. It's a cool rule. Is it going to change the team? Nah. Maybe like they get an extra.
That is so disappointing.
Yeah.
That's so disappointing. I am disappointed. I am very disappointed. What did Breacher's stats have though? All right, because maybe Breachers are way better than any of us could have thought imaginable.
And they got like a.
I haven't. They have a 47.92% win rate with 33 games.
Cool. The people who play them know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have treaded not great. They've shown up to 7 events and they have a 47% win rate and they've only had 30 games, which is crazy because, you know, Plague Marines have 550 games this data slate.
Yeah, which
Breachers
again,
have 33. The data is not relevant enough.
Yeah, I do think that's because of the starter box. Some people have Plague Marines or Angels of Death. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take
and AOD have, my gosh, Giacomo.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a guess. We're going to take a pause real quick.
44%.
For what?
For
AOD?
Yeah, for win rate, right?
Yeah, they have a 43.
Okay, pretty close.
It's
pretty
fine.
Close.
No.
That sounds about right.
I want you to guess how many games they played.
Oh, shoot. Can I get a hint at least how many digits is in the number?
3 digits.
3 digits. All right. So I'm going to guess 682.
Higher.
Higher, 900.
Lower,
850?
809
Wow.
total games, which means that they had about 10% total play rate. 10% of all players at events played AOD.
People love their Marines.
And there's 40 something teams. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They got the market.
That was exciting.
They got the market.
Deathcore is up next.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Deathcore is interesting. When I first read it, I was really perturbed at the change. And I'll tell you why. Okay. So Deathcore, I've come to be a little bit better about it. So Deathcore specifically says a friendly, when they do clear the line, you change the text to friendly Deathcore operatives, melee weapons have the accurate ones weapon rule, which they already had. Whenever a friendly Deathcore operative is fighting wholly within your territory, or whenever it is retaliating, its melee weapons also have the severe weapon rule. How you read this on the outside is kind of how I read it exactly. If you are retaliating, your model is more than likely going to die. Okay.
Right.
So you get severe. Awesome. You do 1 extra damage typically, right? If you get 2 hits, it's really hard to parry him out. So you're probably going to do some damage. Now, if you're wholly within your territory, unfortunately, that means they've already broke containment. They are probably on the center line, or they're in the circle, the center, right? And, really the only thing that this doesn't affect is siege defenses, right? For your TAC ops. Unfortunately, this is awful for all seek and destroy TAC ops. Storm objectives, you have to be in another person's territory. Champion, you're never going to take. And never.
You can make
I'm going to guarantee my
hero.
And then he dies. And then you've only scored 2 TAC ops. if you roll well.
Yeah, if you get lucky, yeah.
And then the other one is you have to have 3 APL in your opponent's territory and kill somebody with like all the APL. And it's not good for vet guard. It's not. Unless you're killing something that dies really, really easy in close combat. Now, this isn't good for any of those, right? So this is only a buff in very specific scenarios, or it's only a buff for very specific play styles. And that's what I dislike about it. I dislike that it is a buff that is for one particular play style, and that's playing like a pussy. Okay?
Do you
got to stay in your...
I was going to say, do you think that Deathcore don't really have an identity on what they want to be yet in this edition? Because you're absolutely right. Like their play styles all over the place.
But here's the other thing. Right? Typically, you want Deathcore to be able to do everything because that's how old Vet Guard used to be. They were really good at shooting. They're pretty good at melee, and they had a good move characteristic. But they were really squishy. So if you overplayed them, you would die. Right.
Right.
I would say that this team has become way more shooty. And with this ability, it much more plays on the fact that the positive thing about this is when you are losing or when you're in a bad matchup, you're guaranteed probably to do some chip damage back, right? Because the problem is like when you're playing against Legionary, and Legionary are just double killing everything in your deployment zone, in your territory. It's relatively difficult to deal with a model like that, or multiple models that are killing everything. Like imagine Goremongers, right? Goremongers are in your deployment zone, they're murdering everything. Felgor right. in your territory, murdering everything. Vetguard had a really hard time already, and they have a harder time dealing with those teams. Now Felgor, at least they have a little bit more play into it. But I think that like this, I originally thought that this was to promote a singular play style. When I look at it more and more and more, I think it's it's better than I originally thought, because it definitely, I'm trying to find the right words here. It helps against your really bad matchups, right? And that is ultimately what Vetguard need and what they needed in certain situations, especially they're really poorly, because when you want to be aggressive, you're probably going to be shooting. And that's unfortunate. I don't like the play style. That's why I don't really play the team anymore. I played them during a narrative event because I was like, hey, this is a chance that I get to really kind of push their limits and see what I can do with some of their operatives I wouldn't take typically. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's great. Personally.
No, definitely not. It's not raising them up more than you'd expect.
And Death Core had a 43% win rate. So it's definitely way better. The ceaseless abilities and all that kind of stuff from the last one definitely pushed them higher. I just dislike those changes because I feel like they are being pushed more as a super, super shooty horde, and instead of like a good overall team,
Right.
So,
more balanced.
Yeah. They seem like way more archetypal.
They fit an archetype. Yes.
Yeah. And they are really not deviating from that. And I also find it weird that like we have any kind of territory specific rules, like Navy Breachers have a weird territory things as well. Like, why does it matter that my models like narratively, why does it matter if my models get like severe in my territory? What's the magic line? Why is there a magic line? It breaks immersion. I think it's just like really, I think with so many teams, it's really hard to come up with different and exciting rules and different things. I'm just not a fan of territory stuff, like
I get that. Yeah. Being in like because it encourages you to stay back the whole game. You're not supposed to.
I like objectives, like fight on objectives. Give me severe on objectives. Help me place my models. Right, I have my bruiser. I have my bruiser on my objective, on the middle objective, on their objective, instead of it just being purely in my territory. But, then I get too close to what they did with Hearthkin. So, I think it's relatively difficult for them to, I would think, come up with unique and different rules.
It'd be cooler if they had more death abilities, but that's not going to happen this late in the game.
No. Essentially, according to Games Workshop and other things, they're a season 1 team and they're supposed to be disappearing from competitive. Like I said, don't think that that's going to happen for the majority of events. Right.
And people still are going to play with their toys.
Exactly. And I think the majority of events are still going to support every single team. Cause why wouldn't you,
right.
Unless you're in Spain, if you're in Spain or Europe, I think they might cut them off.
Right. And that's because they want to, that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm. So Farstalker's up next.
Yep. So this was just a timing thing for Slipaway. They can do it before or after they perform the action to fall back for one less APL.
Exciting. Like we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Falling back for 1 AP is good.
It's always nice.
If you live in combat, you might as well be able to move. That was the quickest recruit one we've done so far. Do you think it makes them better, Giacomo?
So against most teams that have like, let's say 8 or less wounds, I think the Farstalker is actually doing pretty good. They have decent snipers. They do decent enough damage to kill stuff that's 8 or less. Anything higher gets a little tougher to break. I think this is going to still keep them like, what did we have them before? Like low B? Because of their ploys and stuff.
I think they were in C or D. Right now they're at a 42% win rate. Yeah. Okay. It's interesting that they got a worse change. They got a worse change than Vetguard.
Yeah, they didn't really get anything new. I played against this team a few times. To be fair, I was playing Casterkin. And I couldn't really do a whole lot to them. They kept hiding away, so that was one thing. But in melee, they're able to cut me up pretty easy. So
interesting thing, G. Interesting thing. David just called me out in our little comment section. He said it literally says hold the line and the center line. You're holding the center line. So I guess they're thematically appropriate, Games Workshop for Veteran Guard. Thank you, David. You are right. You are right.
He's the
Hashtag
hero.
David's right.
Hashtag David.
The hero we all deserve
is David.
Gellerpox. I heard that Gellerpox got some changes.
As our buddy Melty will say, he thinks they got play now.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of knew the team. I don't know him as well as like other people. But even just reading the stuff, I was thinking like, oh, yeah, okay, that's pretty good. That's one of the complaints I heard from a lot of players. Like, if we got this, I think we'd be all right. So the draw to the hum is within 2 inches of objective markers now, instead of 1, so that's better. What else was I saying?
It's something about blessings of the infection. If you roll 3 or more successes, you can discard one of your fails to retain one of your normal successes as a critical instead. Which is really good. You know, I was talking to somebody today about Gellerpox, and they lost a lot of their reliability in melee from the last edition to this edition, and this adds a lot of it back. Right?
Yes, just getting that critical hit and like doing crazy amounts of damage from one Hulk is nuts. And then their mutatoid vermins, you get 4 Gellerpox infected vermin now.
Nice, for 1 equipment, right?
Yeah, instead of having to choose,
which is awesome,
which is dumb. Like, what? Why? So it's just better. Like, just give us the 4. They needed the bodies.
How much do you think this is? Because this team was the least played team competitively. Period. This is like Colts from last edition. This team was not played. How do you think this is going to affect the team? Do you think it's going to drastically boost their play rate?
We're going to see more Gellerpox infected on the table because they'll have the activations and they have it's not the best reliability, but it's a better reliability than before. And Hulk still, Old Slappy is a name for a reason, right? He still kills.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that hit. What is it, like a 5-7 damage or something?
Yeah.
It's like
I think
huge.
old Slappy, because there's like a bunch of them. There's like the dude with the giant axe, right? Who does
the flamer.
Like, I think like the flamer guy is Old Slappy.
Yeah,
he's the.
Well, Old Slappy's the dude with the
Vulgar.
Vulgar is the
you're right,
yeah,
you're right.
Is the flamethrower man, which is technically the leader of the team. Yes, so I do expect to see this team make a small comeback.
Okay, I think so too. Yeah. I think this team will be drastically more playable. I believe Gellerpox had some of these names are kind of difficult to find sometimes. I'll just alphabetize them. Gellerpox infected had 29% win rate with only 8 games played competitively. Think about that. There were almost 9,000 games played. Angels of Death played in 800 of them. And these guys played 1%. 1% of Angels of Death. Crazy. Okay. What's up next, G?
We got the Jaegers.
Jaegers.
King Jaegers.
I don't know anything about this team. I got a text from one of my buddies saying that Jaegers are back. So what happened with these guys?
Okay, so now when they're fighting, or if they have a conceal and they're retaliating, they get 1 extra attack stat to their weapons, and they have the balance rule.
Really?
Of course. And if the weapon already has the balanced rules, they get ceaseless instead. So that's pretty good. So that weird looking one with the double knives, like she's just so much better now. Plasma knife
4
hitting
attacks
in general.
At 3-5 damage is really good.
It's really good.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
With balance and ceaseless on the other person, this is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And then stalwart defense, you no longer have to suffer the negative of the worse in your hit stat, which is cool.
Bro, plasma knives just gives you balanced. So what you're telling me is if you take if you take plasma knives, all of your guys just get, if they're on conceal or they're retaliating, you get 4 attacks ceaseless.
Oh, well, okay. So the way the plasma knife works is if you already have it, you get the better version, which gives you balanced.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
Which I think
Thank
you
you.
want to do pistols and knives then, I think, as a choice for your warriors, if I remember right. Or you just do the shotgun and then you just take plasma knives as your equipment. Which
That's exciting.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Like, all right, I see why you do that, you know?
Yeah, these guys had a 43% win rate. This will definitely bring them up. I definitely expect them to be, I don't know if they're going to hit 50%. So I think maybe keep them in B tier. I think this will boost them up to B tier maybe.
I mean, it's just, it just comes down to whether the Jaeger meta of using the revolver and the knives now is the thing to go, because now everybody gets the balance knives if you take the plasma equipment, which is just like, that's kind of good too. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
All right.
Guess we'll see.
Hunter Glade, I am so not excited about this, but I know a guy who is from Vox Cascadia.
Yes.
You have Connor, who
Mr. Connor.
loves AdMech.
He does. Okay, so these guys got one of the leaders got a controller move. What was it called?
Is that all they got?
No, they got it. They got. Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, just the control protocol. Yeah.
Wait, what? Dude, that's crazy. Hold on. It better be pretty good because
you can use the command override firefight play for 0 if the specified Hunter Glade operative is visible to this operative. So if the sergeant can see the model, you could be like, hey, command override, you get it for free. I guess you get to save a CP. That's cool.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Is it that good? Because
I said last night.
Were you up last night at that time?
No, I went to sleep at like 11.
Okay, Hunter Glade. They have a 24.93% win rate. This is the worst. This is the worst win rate in the game. I just sorted by win rate.
Yeah, they're a white dwarf team. I think if we're already thinking the the old bespoke teams are going out like season 1, then you can bet your butt that white dwarf is getting thrown into like Mount Doom. Like we're never seeing it again, you know. Like and they're showing us by like really killing this team. Hey, you know what? Sometimes it's not about
servitors are coming out.
Yeah,
embrace
there you go.
the servitors, right?
But they're not Rangers.
They're not Rangers.
They're not Rangers.
Just like Blades of Cain are not Eldari Rangers either.
Could have had a cool new line. It's all right. Yeah. Okay.
So we have Inquisitorial Agents. Did they get something?
They got a small change.
Dude, I forgot these guys existed, yo. For
yeah, no. Like now that Sanctifiers are here, why take these guys?
They got something for Tome Skull, it looks like. Tome Skull operative expendable rule. Relevant parts of the second sentence is it also they just got the expendable change. That's it.
They didn't need more.
Okay. That's really easy. So Inquisition got that. All right.
Now, should we do the core rules now, or do you want to save that for the end?
You will do the core rules now. Why not?
Why not? This is a pretty easy change.
They got one. There's one core rule change,
and it's all about heavy weapons.
Oh, I think I saw this. Go for it, G.
An operative cannot use this weapon in an activation or a counteraction in which it moved, and it cannot move in an activation or counteraction in which it used this weapon. Yes.
I was really hoping for more.
What I'm wondering
of a balance, something rather than just one rule.
Explaining some ladders or something, how do ladders work? Whatever. Here's a question though, because I'm wondering this. I was talking with the homie while we were walking today. I was wondering this. So let's say you have heavy reposition. Can I heavy reposition? Let's say I don't shoot yet, like I shoot with a bolt pistol. Let's just use Nemesis Claw because I have a missile launcher in front of me. And then in the counter action, since I legally did my reposition that I'm allowed to do, can I fire my weapon in counteract? Does that still work?
You can fire your bolt pistol, but you can't fire your heavy. That's
Okay, so you're going to want to move and fire your missile, and then shoot your bolt pistol on counter action.
Well, do they have? Is it heavy? Is it heavy reposition?
Yeah, they have heavy reposition.
Then I believe you can. This is, I think, specifically saying.
Oh, if you only have the heavy.
If you have like heavy, like for instance, if Veteran Guard had heavy dash, right? And I move and dash somewhere, and then I get a counteract. Well, I can't counteract with a model that I've already gone beyond their movement characteristic with.
Of what the limit is, right? Okay, so
if the limit of the heavy dash.
Right, gotcha. So if I've repositioned, I can move up to 6, which is the reposition.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can
And I believe an operative cannot use this weapon in an activation or counteraction in which it moved. Yeah. So, yep. Right. I believe that is what it's saying.
Yeah, because for the sniper,
I'll have to look into it a little bit more. Pop out the actual rule book, since they don't have it online.
Right, because that's what I wanted to know. Because the Space Marine Sniper yesterday, you'll pull a move where you did this, and I used to do this move too, where I would just move a bunch and then counteract snipe. But now you. But
I don't think I got a shot. Right, I think I just moved up and then I went on. I don't even think I went on guard, but I was planning to counteract.
Yeah,
after.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you didn't pull it off, but that was the plan. So now that's not even like a viable thing if you just have just straight heavy, no heavy dash, no heavy reposition, just straight heavy, right? That's how I'm interpreting it.
Yeah, which probably means I'm never going to bring the Eliminator again.
The Eliminator, usually his whole job is just to create an area where your opponent doesn't want to go through. That's it.
That's fair.
Yeah, so it just depends on the play.
He would have been way more useful as an assault intercessor.
And realistically, he has heavy anyway, so he's moving with a bolt pistol. Like whenever I use him, he's just bow guarding a spot and sniping 7 wound dudes. Because I have seek light, so it doesn't matter. On advantage, good luck. Yeah, it was a cool
So we have
change.
Chaos Cults next. Chaos Cults. I spoke to somebody, I haven't read it, so let me just double check.
Let's take a look. This one's a fresh one for me too. This one I don't remember at all.
So I can tell you, this one's pretty simple, right? So Torments can't use crack grenades anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No frag, no crack. Pretty simple.
Because they can only use the weapons on their profiles now.
They can't perform the pickup mission marker, but they can, or do unique mission actions, right? But they can do operate hatch,
Right, because you need to be able to open a door.
Absolutely.
Dang, bring back getting the anointed stuck in a room.
Oh yeah.
I just love that interaction, but no, you don't want that. You don't want that.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull up, we're going to take a quick little break from that. I want to pull up a card that I have made for the narrative real quick. Are you ready for it, G?
Sure am.
I don't think anyone has seen this yet. So this is a crit op that I made for the LVO narrative. Hopefully the tickets will go on sale soon. A quick thing about this is it's going to be Tyranid themed. Okay. We are going to have Space Hulk happen. We are going to be creating 18 unique. No, not 18. There will be 9 unique ITD boards with space and a bunch of other crazy stuff. And it's going to be Space Hulk. You're going to be fighting Tyranids in space. It's going to be amazing. So the crit op I made for this is called Brood Sector. It's part of the Mesozoic. Ovomorphs, which is an alien term from the movie Alien, are the first stage of a xenomorph's life cycle, and they are often described as large, leathery, ellipticoid objects commonly referred to as egg sacs. The mission action, which is unique, so the guys can't do it, right? Destroy egg sac, 1 egg sac, the operative is in control range of. You can destroy it, remove it from the game, and it deals 1 damage. You can't do it if you're in close combat with somebody else. And whenever a friendly Sentinel, Marauder, or Harvester operative performs the destroy egg sac action, you score 1 VP. Hivemand, I'm not going to read it out loud, though you could pause the video and check it there. So it's kind of like loot, except you got to run all over the board and destroy a bunch of different egg sacs while fighting possibly Tyranids and the enemy team also doing the same thing. Very excited. And you can go pop other people's egg sacs so they can't score points. It's awesome. Yeah. Pretty fun, pretty exciting stuff. Back to Balance Dataslate. What did you think about that, G?
I enjoy it because I like when the game has rules that are easy to understand but are a little more thematic. It gets you in the game, in the zone, you know?
Yeah. All right.
Scout Squad.
Okay. Matthew Alasanya says that squigs should be able to eat egg sacs.
Sure, for 1 AP.
and then
they take one mortal wound. And it counts as 1 point.
Yeah. So scouts, did they get an update, G?
They did. So they're emboldened.
Are they better?
No, I don't think this is going to change them to win. I think they still needed that extra body. But you know, so you can change one of your retained normal successes to a critical success instead. That's for the emboldened aspirant. Okay. Any rules that take effect, such as like critical, so devastating, piercing, all that still triggers. Cool. So, you know, now you can have a critical, so you can make those happen. Hunter and warriors now have 4/5 on their knives.
What was it? 3/4 before 3/5?
5 before, and then when you took the knife, you would get it to 4/5. Now the combat blades are just 4/5.
So
you use the better version.
What?
Yeah.
What happened? What changed?
The hunter and the warriors combat blades became 4/5.
Okay. But what happens when you take combat blade? They're also 4/5?
Let's see.
I'm confused. You confused me here. Okay, so wait.
Yeah. If an operative already has this weapon, it just becomes 4/5, which I believe is just for.
And they hit on 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. So
it's
so
okay.
what changed here?
The 4/5 damage on the hunter and warrior operatives for their combat blade weapon.
That's it.
Yeah.
Can we go back to 4/6? Can we go back to 4/6 power weapons on scouts
with 10 models?
Power knives on scouts? We need them. We need them to be good. And you know why we need them to be good, Giacomo? So that I can model them as my action heroes and run around with shotguns and stab people.
I mean, all this team really
needed,
and that'd be a cool one, right? That'd be a cool conversion. The one thing I think they just needed was just give them the body, because they just need more things to do with people.
Dude, I would 100% make Arnold the hunter, you know, and have like the predator skull on his base. Yeah, with the red and bandana, you know. And have Sylvester Stallone on the team too, and Chuck Norris. Oh my gosh, man, I'm dying to bring back my action heroes. I need to figure it out one of these days. All right.
Yeah. So combat blades are 4/5. Cool.
To me,
again, I think they need the body, because like a lot of their traps and things that they can do, the opportunities to hit, at least from my friends who play scouts more often, they say like the body would help. Like it was cool when they got all the new traps and stuff, but that wasn't enough.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll trust them if they say so. I mean, they play it more than me, so.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. What's the next team? What's the next team? Wait, what did scouts get? What was scouts kill win rate at?
Oh yeah, let's find out first before we jump up to the caster can.
Scout squad had a 38% win rate, and that's all they got.
Yeah, see? The knife is like, oh, I guess that's cool that I can kill you.
Why does Games Workshop hate scouts so much? It's like they messed up you messed up one time. You messed up one time with scouts, right? You gave them all 4/6 power weapons, and everyone and another model, and then everyone freaked out. Okay, we can do a little better than 4/5. Okay, 3 attacks hitting on 3s. We could, we can do something, right?
Like, I think
just like everyone was saying they're S tier and all that kind of stuff. A 38% win rate. I don't see it. There might be one guy out there like really strong with them, right? But that ain't S tier. You know, they're getting cooked. Cooked. Casterkin's up next. Yes, Giacomo, this is your specialty. This is your horde team, like Deathcore. It's my horde team.
Yeah. I guess as hard as this can be. So they got some cool changes. The sergeant,
dude, that's so many. You just like, we talked today and you're like, oh, they got this, this, and this. I was like, oh, that's it. Okay. I'm looking at a full page.
Got a lot. They got a lot. Yeah. I'm
looking at a full page of changes, G.
They needed this.
Like you just lied to me all day today just to like blow my damn mind, you know? What?
So
okay. Explain these changes to me.
So light them up, which is one of their skillet arms. Now you have the severe weapon rule. If any of these are true, it's either the model is ready. The enemy model that you're shooting.
The enemy model's ready.
It's not in cover, or it's being scanned by the recon trooper. Which let's quickly jump to the recon trooper. So now he is essentially a Vox breaker from Phobos. So whenever an enemy operative is within 8 inches of this operative, that means it can look through walls. So into the dark, it looks through walls. Actually, I'm not about 100% sure about that one. I don't think it looks through walls and into the dark. But anyways, 8 inches within this model, that enemy operative is shooting an enemy operative is being scanned. And that's important. Being scanned is now one of its new abilities. That's important because, as you saw earlier at Skillet Arms, if it's being scanned by the recon trooper, this ability works now. Because before, when you had severe, you had like a certain way to do it. Now, is that an AP action that you like look at somebody or something? So you're going to run up the recon trooper up the board. He's going to scan, and then he's an 8-inch bubble of, I guess, essentially a 16-inch bubble of, if you're within 8 inches of me, get scanned.
This is ridiculous. Like, okay, so he gets scanned, and what, you get severe against somebody? You spend an AP
and Skillet Arms
to give one guy.
Yeah,
Skillet Arms doesn't, but this costs an AP. Okay.
And
I was trying to equate it a little bit to Auspex. At Auspex, you don't have to do any AP actions, but this is a little better. Okay, all right,
right, because this hits every model within 8 inches, which is nice. So if you're
every model,
whenever an enemy operative is within 8 inches of this operative, they all become scanned.
Holy balls!
Yeah, they all become scanned, and the severe weapon happens anytime one of these three things are true.
Hold on. I'm gonna do something.
Oh, he's putting the head on backwards.
Wait a second. Hold on.
Oh, even more wild. You're seeing this live. I can't believe you got your.
This is my new crown. This is my Kasser King crown. The Kasser Kings are back. I have flipped my hat inside out to indicate that I have joined the cult of the kings. Okay.
Yeah. Light 'em up is going to be very good. It was already good before. I used to use it all the time. Now it's even better. All of them are going to pretty much get better. Minus the move one, essentially, because that was already really good. Adding an extra inch is amazing. Okay, so now let's get to Forcadia. So Forcadia is the first time you strike during the sequence, you inflict 1 additional damage, in addition to adding 1 attack dice.
Okay,
which is awesome. So they just do a little more damage on the way out. Again, they're still not like, this ain't no melee kings here, but like, they're kind of like, what was the team we were talking about earlier, that this is more of just a defense thing they can do. It's not really a thing that's winning them the game.
That was Deathcore.
So same idea. Like it's helping them kind of survive a little bit longer, or I guess do more damage, chip damage.
Okay.
But comboed with ice in your veins, where the first time an attack,
dude, I don't see where these are. Are these on the? Oh my gosh, there's 2 pages. Wait, no, that's previous. Where is this? I don't see ice in my veins.
It's under the faction skill arms.
Really, it's still here. We're still on the first wing.
We're still essentially, yes. So the first time an attack dice inflicts normal damage of 3 or more, you reduce it by 1. So, you can hit by
that's so good.
Yeah. Space Marine Fist hits you. You change it from 3 damage to 2 damage. Okay. And then you deal back some damage. Then you die. But you do a little more. You get a few more hits out of it, which is worth it. So those are great changes.
That's so incredible.
Yeah. And you can combo those with.
I would pay so much money to get damage reduction, not only in real life, but damage reduction in this game is absolutely glorious, right? That's absolutely great.
Because it used to be 4 or 5, or 4 damage to 3. So now it's 3 to 2. And again, you can combo this by using the sergeant. So he can give somebody, before the sergeant replaced somebody's skill at arms, now he gives them an additional one instead of replacing it, which is nice.
So Giacomo, are you taking Forcadia? Are you taking Ice in My Veins? What are you taking?
I'm thinking that's a combo I was talking with Alex Popov about. He's probably more right because he's smarter than me. So it's probably not like the end all great combo I think it is, but I still like the combo.
Which one?
Ice in My Veins and Forcadia, so that you can run up, hit somebody, and go like, Ice in My Veins, reduce damage, then hit him again.
See, I'm right. I'm with you. I'm with
I
you.
like
I'm
it.
on your train. I'm on the melee train.
That's
okay?
exactly why it's so much fun.
Yeah. But your ranged weapons getting severe, and that's for light them up, right? That's pretty good too.
Because it used to exist before, and now it's just the conditions are better, which is important. So that's
okay. I'm going to add another hat to my crown.
He's making it. He's making it his crown of hats. Then we have
no one can see this.
Clearance sweep. Oh, they'll get to on the YouTube video. Clearance sweep. So now you have ceaseless instead of, I believe it was the balanced rule. Ceaseless is better. Better chances of getting your shots off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now they have the veteran guard thing, right?
Yeah. Honestly, ceaseless is important. Elimination.
Why does the game have so much rerolls? We never had this problem in the past. Like the fact that how hard it is to kill things, and they're like, how do we fix how hard it is to kill things? I don't know. Make everyone reroll dice. Okay, right. Why can't we just like nerf other stuff? Okay, sorry.
Make them more consistent, which is what you need to do. So elimination pattern, this one has a new little caveat, which is auras being scanned, which is what we talked about with the recon trooper. So now this is another way that they can fall into the elimination pattern, which gives them piercing crits 1 on their hotshot weapons.
So you can get severe piercing crit 1s ceaseless.
Yeah, if you combo this with all this, is
totally hitting on 3s.
Yeah, totally an option. Yeah. And then you got neutralized target, same idea.
I need another hat.
You're going to need more hats. We're going to add another one. So neutralized target.
Notice how they're all squad games hats.
We have a bunch.
I'm going to fiddle with these hats while you're telling me, G. Go ahead.
Yes. So if, it's either not in cover or being scanned. That's how you get your neutralized target, which is the re-rolling dice. Like, I rolled all misses. Don't worry. You fit into one of my neutralized target things. So I'm going to spend it and re-roll everything. So it's cool. The recon trooper is actually very, very important now. He's going to become a key player in a lot of strategies. And I see a target painted on his head. People will want this thing dead. Long range scope is you get the saturate rule now, as long as you're further from 6 inches from people. When
you get
yeah, you just get saturate now.
So you can get severe, saturate, piercing crits 1, ceaseless. And what was the last one you just read?
You get to reroll everything. You already had that, but now there's just new ways of getting it.
Okay.
Yeah, which is important for neutralized target. And now instead of having to roll a crit for your scope, you just get saturate. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like you're going to take long range scope more often. Yeah, because it's saturate. Like, duh.
Like, why wouldn't you?
It's on their
weird that these guys are like one balanced data slate behind Deathcore, and it's like to me it seems like, how do we fix shooting teams? I don't know. Give them ceaseless. Give them severe. Give them saturate. Make it so they hit better. That's exactly what's going on.
Literally all they could do.
They will literally do anything in their power to not give them +1 operative.
Yeah, because the box already exists.
How much easier would it have been, and how much less words would they have had to write if they were like, hey, they get two Cadians to join their Kashyyyk team? It would have been a lot less.
It would have been a lot less difficult. But since they're selling the box, I don't think they're trying to sell you multiples. Well, they 100%
want on the Kashyyyk teams, though.
Yeah. And then Sergeant, he is the tactical command, which is what I mentioned before. Instead of replacing your skill at arm, he gives you an additional skill at arm. It can't be the same one, so you can't double up on ice in your veins.
What?
Yeah. So that
is so good.
It's still very good. Yeah. Awesome. Comboing stuff is cool.
What?
And then we already went over the recon trooper with his Auspex scan, which is it's cool. it makes the team have to play with more synergy, especially that recon trooper. He really wants to, or her, if you modeled it that way, really wants you to use this as a key component to trigger all these abilities.
Absolutely incredible.
I absolutely love it. Look at that hat. So that's Kasserkin. I think they're going to
Kasser Kings, Giacomo. They're the Kasser Kings.
Kasser Kings.
They're not the Kasser Knots. They're the Kasser Kings now.
They're moving to at least a B tier in my eyes.
Okay. All right, we're moving on from them, so I'm going to fix everything.
No longer need your crown.
No, I'm going back to Kamehameha. Bringing it back.
Yeah.
All right. So what's up next, G?
Warp Coven.
Oh, okay. So we get to see what Warp Coven got. Warp Coven had like a 56% win rate. They weren't like overly tuned, but considering there's only like 4 or 5 teams in the unhealthy tier, supposedly, let me fix this real quick.
And I got to say, Warp Coven didn't get a whole lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a whole lot for Warp Coven. Didn't? Yeah.
Okay.
So they have their capricious plan. So the last sentence is changed to that friendly operative can immediately perform a free dash action, even if it's performed an action that prevents it from performing a dash action. Or you can change its order instead.
Yeah. So what that's saying is that the capricious plan, which was a crazy ploy for them, means that they cannot perform a dash and change back to conceal or change to engage, right? And that's a really big change because typically you could like run the board, kill somebody, use capricious plan, dash away, and then hide and go on conceal and be completely protected. I think this is a great change for Warp Coven. I like the fact that they have to be a lot more, they can charge somebody and just go on conceal if they can set it up correctly. So I think that it creates a lot more of a healthy play style rather than just I can do whatever I want, And I think that like pushing somebody to actually be skillful at the game and not just relying on the mechanics of a broken team, I think is ultimately the right thing to do.
I 100% agree. Cool. Bring them in line a bit. And now we move on to the Void Scars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they're actually taking a bit of a nerf here.
I think this is a rather decent sized nerf. If I am correct.
This team is getting hit a bit. It's just a little bit more than I thought.
It's interesting because this team only had a 50% win rate.
Just enough for them to get hit.
I mean, but they weren't in the 55 tier, They weren't. So, capricious flight, another capricious thing. Before or after it performs an action, use this firefight ploy. So
that's a timing
so that probably
thing.
means
it's a timing thing. The bond rule, the blade thing, the hunter bond guy. The first time during each turning point that this operative is retaliating, if it's ready and the resolve attack dice step of the sequence, you do the thing. Let's pull up. That's the guy with the bird, I think.
This is technically a buff, right?
Let's pull it up. That's the fun part. Is it the Kernite Hunter? Yeah, the bond. During each of the turning points, retaliating is ready. The resolve attack dice step of that sequence, you can resolve the first attack dice defender instead of the attacker, which is cool. So you can hit first with that one.
Yes.
Nice. I think it used to be he would do a parry first.
Yeah. Can he not do the parry anymore?
No, he can. Well, now I think it was only a parry.
Yeah.
I can't. Someone who knows the team better than me, let me know.
Shade Runner got changed pretty heavily on 2 different aspects. We see this operative cannot warp jump during the same activation in which it performed the dash action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. That means he gets, because typically Corsairs, if you haven't played Corsairs before, you can dash before or after, right? So this is saying that if you use your blink ability, you just get your 7-inch move, plain and simple, right?
Yep.
Relatively good. Then we have the slicing attack rule, which you cannot inflict damage on an enemy operative that was not visible to this operative at the start of the activation. So this is stopping people from jumping through into the dark walls, stabbing a bunch of people, so that's decently good
and then
too.
Disappearing, which is great because that was kind of I played against that and was like, oh, Jesus, you just got to deal with it. That's all you can do. What else can you do?
Yeah.
Get hit.
And it looks like the first time the attack damage inflicts normal damage. So I'm guessing that it was just probably damage before. I think it was damage before. And it just says, so now it's stopping crits. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So awesome. a bit of a nerf because I do believe that Shade Runner was a big component, especially in Into the Dark boards where you could just like suddenly appear, hit something. And like your opponent did not see it coming.
Now, one thing I will say, G, I didn't really look any further into the documents. This does say previous erratas. So it looks like even though it's update 1.2, they are telling us they did get an update because it's the previous ones. But I don't think we've ran into a team that didn't get an update yet, right? Not yet.
Because most of them got some kind of FAQ update before.
Okay.
When we had a small little FAQ, that paper that came out.
Star Striders. I love this team. I'm so excited to talk about Star Striders.
It's cooler.
The reason why I don't like Star Striders personally, if you guys are new to the channel, is I'm not a big fan of their art direction of the models. I love the dog.
That's
but
probably the
art
model,
direction
honestly.
of the team. Yeah. It's the same with Gellerpox. I was never a big fan of the box, the box itself.
Yeah.
So Star Striders definitely got something. Do you know what did we get here, G?
It's all going to be clarifications.
Okay. So just balanced.
Yeah. So they got balanced and it's just clarifications. That's it. Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. If it already had it, it has it now.
So you don't get both, it looks like, anymore. It says instead of balanced. Okay. Fair enough. Oops. What's up next? We have Angels of Death. They didn't get anything. And I don't even think they've ever got anything, right?
They haven't really needed too much.
Nope. They haven't got nothing. This is the one team that didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. They just got a format change so that people can print out their things because they're technically a new team, even though, Angels of Death is probably never leaving. No matter how many iterations they're going to keep calling them, that's a team that's never going away because it's their Space Marine team.
So we have Rattlings up next, right?
What was this one? I was talking to somebody about it this morning. Not the dog.
The Bomber Operative.
Oh, by the doors. That's right. That's what he does now.
So what he said that what is this?
So you
when setting up the
within.
So this is interesting. At the narrative event, what's his name? I was playing against Jason, and Jason put all of his tripwires right in front of the doors.
Yes.
And I was like, well, I guess I'm not going there anymore. And then Velocicarian Raptors popped up in front of those doors, and I didn't want to go over there anyways. So
there you go. So now access point and accessible terrain, you got to make it more than 2 inches away from them. So you can't put it in front of doors or yeah. This
was rather toxic.
This was pretty toxic because then you just really shut someone off. It's a good thing they needed to fix it.
Absolutely.
We got Hand of the
Cool.
Archon.
That was easy. Hoda's almost like Dakota. It's like part of my name. Why don't I play this team?
I don't know. You own the models.
I do own the models. I just got to finish painting them, I guess. Erratas, they got a change for power from pain, stimulated senses. You can reroll one of your dice. Okay.
Nice.
I'm not sure what it was before. We will never know. Unless somebody comments in the comment section. Firefight employees before it performs an action. What is this one? Cruel deception. Use this firefight ploy during a friendly Hand of the Archon operative's activation before or after it performs an action. Okay. And the Sky Splinters operative Razor Wing got changed to a 4. So I'm guessing it was 5 before because it seems to be a nerf.
And he could do 1-2 with Saturate, Seek, and Silent. So it's swingy, but before, if you had 5 dice, the likelihood of you killing something was higher than before. So now
that's fair.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit less likely to kill something. Cool.
Question is, did Commandos get anything? Because they have had a relatively not great win rate.
They've been keeping it silent. No, their thing was the expendable change. That's it.
Really? That's it?
That's it.
What was their win rate? it seems that they would have had to have something. Oh, I closed the tab. I'm not going to open up my
Lol.
website again. Okay. So what's up next? So that's all they got, Commandos?
That's it.
Was just an expendable thing? They've had like their win rate's been in the 40s. All right. Felgor, please tell me there's a nerf. There's a nerf. Because I know Goremongers beat the pants off of these guys.
There's
you do the
kind of a nerf, but not really. Some parts got nerfed, some parts got strong.
Giacomo.
Yeah.
This is not what I want to hear.
Yeah, no.
So Frenzy. Read the first bullet point of the second set of bullet points change to its activation or counteraction ends.
So now it can die on counteractions. Yes. This is big. That's a big one. That's a big one. That's one you wanted. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am so excited about that. I just want them to die more often. You know?
And now they can.
How freaking awesome is that?
Yes. So now they're going to be less likely to counteract with a model that's frenzied because then they
so want to flip off the camera right now.
So that's what happens there.
Felgor. Amazing. I love this change. I'm in heaven right now.
There you go.
Okay. What's up next? We got something to change to ambush.
Yes. So whenever a friendly Felgor Ravager operative that is ambushing is fighting, you can retain one of your normal successes as a critical success instead. Which was just you had the option before to do a normal.
Okay.
One of your fails is a normal. Now it's just the normal as a critical. So
so this pairs pretty well with the relentless thing chart. So they have an ability where if you miss with dice, you can pick them all up and you can choose to reroll all of them, right? Mm-hmm. So this is kind of being like if you reroll everything and you don't get a crit, like you used to be able to change, because a lot of times it's better to hit in combat. It's better to hit with more dice rather than just making one a critical, you know? So I like this. This is definitely a nice nerf to them as well. You know?
Yes.
Nice. Exciting. What's up next, G? Reckless determination.
Whenever an enemy operative is shooting or an expanded friendly Felgor Ravager operative, if you cannot retain any cover saves, you can retain one of your defense dice as a normal success without rolling it. So
okay.
Cool. They just have a free one, which is nice. So they don't get it in addition to cover, which is nice.
Oh my gosh, the Gnarl Scar and the Mangler got down to 10 wounds.
Yeah.
Let's go, yo. Yeah. My guy.
Because what they were at 11 or something before?
Yeah, and then the weapon thing got changed from Seek Everything just to Seek Light. Let's go. Yeah. These are great changes.
Honestly, like Seek should just die. Like the rule should just go away. I don't see the benefit of it. Like Seek Light is the only thing that really matters. Personally.
Here's another crazy one. The only thing that Felgor still have that I think is broken, right, is the fact that they can heal twice still. This is the one team that can still heal twice. But these are all great changes. I'm a happy guy. I'm not having a seizure. They didn't get a buff. They didn't get +1 wound or +1 model. You know, we're in good happy land. The whole data slate could have been dog water, right? But and we got this, bro. Yeah, I'm so happy.
It's all safe.
I gotta let my dog out. He's yelping.
He's yelling. He's all happy now that Felgor are down. And all right.
And we only got 2 teams left.
Yeah. Now I don't know if this will necessarily kill the team, but it'll probably put them in you're gonna really want to play this team, or you're gonna end up buying Goremongers.
Bro, everyone is gonna be playing Goremongers until the next day. This team is dead. This team is dead. There's literally zero reason to play Felgor when Goremongers exist. If you don't know how to play Goremongers, learn. Right? They are cooked. They are cracked. They smashed this team already. Right? And then this team got a nerf and they crush them even more. And let me just tell you a quick thing of how they do it. They heal at any point of their activations. They take half damage during every fight sequence. And then when they kill a model, they can heal again. You know?
Yeah.
Why would you play Felgor at this point? You can't. Goremongers are just cooked Felgor. They're just cooked. insane in the men brain.
It's yeah. You just don't play it. You play the Goremongers.
I think Felgor after this. I think Felgor are dead in the water.
Unless you really,
which
love
I
the
like.
team.
It's good for kill team. It's good for kill team. Let them die.
Yeah,
let them die.
I would agree. Right? I think it's okay. Right. You have the Aquilons, so similar to their box counterpart of the Vespids, they also get an extra model in the form of a mandatory sentry gun. Yes, you always get the sentry gun. Yes. So before you had to decide, am I going to take a gunner or a sentry gun? Guess I'm going to take a gunner because sentry gun sucks. Now it's just, you just get a sentry gun because we know it sucks.
Wait, the sentry gun sucks?
Yeah, it can't fight. It can't do anything. Like, so if you charge it, like you just kill this thing.
So the next thing is to give it a fight profile and have it do 1-2 damage because even the miraculous does 1-2 damage in melee.
Something.
Okay.
Yeah. At least this one. So you get the extra model, which means now you can take all three gunners. You're taking the plasma carbine, you're taking the melta carbine, you're taking the sniper, and you're taking this robot. Cool.
Giacomo, is this going to bring them out of the 30% win rate?
Maybe because you have extra guns, like you have extra damage.
I mean, it has to. An additional model is going to at least raise them by at least, I think, 5%. Right. So maybe they hit 38%, or do you think they actually break the 40s?
Well, we already had them in C, so I just think this kind of change puts them up to either.
My God, these guys were in D. These guys were in
D?
Failure tier. Well, no, I'm just saying like they actually are currently.
Which again, I do think the Vespids and them have an issue with. They were the release box, so people who own them were playing them and probably weren't as good yet, so therefore they were losing with the team. But otherwise, I think this change moves them up, especially with the hot drop. So you can also be within your opponent's territory, landed or dropped from the sky that turn to get your hot drop ability off, which is nice. So just more things to do.
Yeah.
And then
there's a delay here. So we are going to ask we're going to talk to our Patreon just after this, after we do our shout outs and stuff. If you are a Patreon member and you are listening to this live, please go ahead. If you have any questions or you want us to go back and talk about anything specifically, please put them in the chat right now as we go through our last conversation and our shout outs. At the end of the video, we will talk to our Patreon and we will answer their questions. Okay.
Yes. And then last, the Precursor got ceaseless on their knives and the daggers, and that's it. Overall, decent changes. I think it's going to put them up, like I said, either low B or at the top of C. They're good.
That's fair.
I'm not sure which one's better, though, whether Aquilons or Kasrkin are better.
Well, Kasrkin are better. They're just straight better. They have more models and they are the kings, my guy. I mean, they are the kings. They got severe. They got everything in the kitchen, But in fact, so some of these teams are getting so complicated, Giacomo. Like Exaction, playing against Exaction yesterday literally fried my brain. I was like, yo, like some of the teams are getting so complicated, I just don't understand anymore,
Right.
Yeah. This team is less complicated than Kasrkin.
I think so. I think this team is still pretty good, like with the changes, because they're hitting on threes. They're essentially a Kasrkin profile.
The better thing is, are these guys better than Vespids now? Because I think I still don't know who was better before either.
I think they're pretty even. They play differently, so really it will come down to which style you prefer. Whether you like coming in and dropping in at random, so your opponent doesn't really know where you're coming yet, or whether you like flying and having like your lethal fives for that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes down to that. And
so last team? Really? Are we there?
It's the last team. It's Plague Marines. They got one change.
Plague Marines.
Yes. And this is a good one because I always hated this rule when it was used right away. Cloud of Flies is no longer 3 inches. It is now 1 inch of the marker for the purposes of skin.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Holy balls, bro. That's huge.
Yes. Yes, you can't just use it as an automatic, like
it's
pop it and everyone has it. Yeah. Now it's just a smoke. It's just, that's it, and I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, I'm fine with this.
So if you want all your guys to be like how they were, kind of, you're going to have to take smoke grenades.
Yep. Yeah, because otherwise it was like okay. At what point are you going to pop Cloud of Flies so that I can't really do any damage to your guys, and then you move up and kill me? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is huge.
This is really huge.
Because some people were telling me that Plague Marines beat Sanctifiers, and I was like, I don't know about that. Or they beat Goremongers. I was like, I don't know about that. But now with this, like, you can only keep one model safe, not like 2 or 3 models safe. This is huge.
It's very good against.
Okay.
The shooty teams got a little stronger against these guys.
Mm-hmm.
How exciting.
How exciting.
How exciting.
And then there's nothing else, right?
Yeah, because we did the core rules already.
You're right.
Yes.
Interesting. Overall, how do you feel about this data slate, Giacomo?
Like I said before, there's ups and downs. Like there's parts I was really high on, and then there's parts I was like, that was nothing. And then there was parts I was high again, and then back to, oh, that was nothing. And then I ended somewhere in the middle.
I think that I'm overall very positive with this changes with a lot of these things. I think they definitely hit on quite a few things. I don't think there was any kind of crazy blunders, kind of like we made fun of it in the Scouts video, but like, or the Scout when we were talking about Scouts, but when they're like, hey, they're going to get +1 model and they all do 4/6 damage, like that was like, we were like, wait, what? You just took like the worst team in the game and made them like the best team in the game? That was crazy. I don't think anything like that happened. Maybe Pathfinders get dramatically better, right? It could be a thing.
It could be.
But I think Pathfinders and Kasrkin look to me to be the winners of this data slate. If I had to choose 2 teams, I think those are the 2 that are just popping out in my mind. Also, Felgor. Felgor are also the winner of this data slate because they got nerfed into the ground. I'm very excited. Makes me happy.
Yes. Overall, most elf teams got a little bit of a nuke too.
Yep. Vespid's got a lot better. They could be pretty good now. They got an extra model. They got some extra cool stuff. That's cool.
And essentially they're extra
Hunterclade.
Model. Yeah.
Hunterclade are probably the biggest losers of this entire thing because they got absolutely nothing.
And they needed at least something.
Chaos Cults are still going to run around like a menace. Chaos Cults are going to be crazy.
You still got 2 torments, so.
And Sanctifiers and Goremongers are also going to still be top of the pylon, How exciting.
How exciting.
Hopefully during the next data slate, Sanctifiers and Goremongers will both get a relatively large nerfs, and then Tyranids can rule us all. Like our gracious overlords can rule us,
We'll see when that comes out, right?
Yeah. I think we should get one more balanced data slate before the Las Vegas Open. Maybe, we were wrong last time. We were like, hey, there's going to be a balanced data slate before LVO.
And then it did not happen.
It did not happen. So maybe, we'll have to see, but this looks like it could possibly be the meta for LVO, but I doubt it because we're still in May, right? LVO is what? 6 months away. So we should at least get 1, maybe 2, but probably just 1.
I'm holding my breath for 1, not for 2.
Yeah, we'll have to see. That's exciting because Worlds is about, I don't know, a month after LVO. It's going to be a cool time. It's going to be interesting because everything is starting to balance out a little bit better. The edition started off like with really jagged spikes and stuff and not people playing a lot of different things. And I think it's going to level out relatively more balanced. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job. So let's see what any of our Patreons said. G, do you want to do any kind of shout outs as I read some of these?
Yeah, I will. So I wanted to let people know that if they want to join the conversation, they can do so on our Discord or in the YouTube comments of this video. Tell us what you think about the Balance Data Slate. Tell us what things you'd prefer to see and didn't get for your team. Also, if you're looking to go to a Squad Games event, May 17th, that's this coming May, We are going to have a Kill Team tournament here in Santa Clarita, California. That's at Green Tower Games. It'll be a 3-round. It is a little more fun, casual, not necessarily casual, but a little more fun style one because of the boards and everything. So you get to try out some of the cool stuff we're going to have planned in the future. So sign up for that. So check that one out. If not, we have the All Valley Team Tournament. That one's in June. That is the 21st and 22nd. That is a 2-day event here in Santa Clarita as well. At least at the moment, I believe it's going to be in Santa Clarita. And you bring some buddies, you play. It's a 3v3 format, which is pretty fun. You'll get to see what we mean. And if not, we'll see you at LVO. We're going to check you out there. You can find other things about us on YouTube, on our Instagram at squad_games_entertainment. And you can join the Patreon if you want. Patreon members get access to a few extra perks in addition to having an exclusive channel on the Discord. We are now doing early podcast episodes with them in there as well. So if they want to ask questions, we're usually going to take that stuff, which you'll get to hear at the end of this episode. This is the first time that's happening.
Mm-hmm. I would like to shout out our patrons. Thank you for letting this kind of stuff happen and, helping us with, life, Thank you for, we have a lot of patrons come over and help us build terrain. They do a bunch of other great stuff behind the scenes. Very good community everyone has here at Squad Games and the community itself. Looking forward to debuting some of those maps at like Giacomo said, at the Boys Bash 2, right? Looking forward to that. We're going to be testing some of the narrative maps, and a lot of arena rules. In fact, one of the questions from our patrons tonight is, when do the arena rules release? And that will be once I have the time. There's not anything crazy. It's nothing crazy with it. There's just like open hatchways and you run around and there's condensed environment. I think arena is like super, super simple. I think the hard part is knowing where to deploy properly and where to know where to put the tokens and the objectives and stuff. But yeah, like there's some crazy stuff last night that was really fun. One of Alex's models got within 6 of my deployment zone, but wasn't wholly in my deployment zone. So I couldn't stop him from getting.
It's a trip. Watch watch
that one. That's Astartes versus Exaction Squad. Very fun time. It's gonna be fun. If there was, going back and talking one last thing about this, Giacomo, is there any team that you thought deserved a little bit more than what they got, or do you think there was a team that got a little bit more of a nerf than you thought they shouldn't have?
Besides Hunterclade really getting nothing out of this, I think everyone else got at least something that'll help them play a little better. Now, it's not going to help you win every game, but you'll feel better playing the game.
I have one. Blades of Cain and Striking Scorpions with my 3-up saves. My guys did not get a 3-up save. I'm relatively upset. But the Felgor nerfs, they saved me. I'm not overly upset about this data slate. Typically, some of the balanced data slates, I will be critical. I will think that, they did a poor job. This one, I thought they did a really good job. I think that it's, they're doing a good job balancing the game and getting the stuff kind of closer to where it needs to be. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I'm really looking forward to a couple more nerfs for both Sanctifiers and Goremongers. I know that there's a lot of places already banning. There are events actually just straight banning Sanctifiers and banning Goremongers because they're just
too cracked.
Yeah, they're just too competitively good, right? So, yeah, I think that's going to be it from us. I just want to thank you guys all for making it to the end of the video. Giacomo, what do we want to have them say in the comments? You made it here. I bet you some people just go to the end of the video and just rewind like 2 minutes and just listen to it and just comment.
They will now. I don't know. Let's see.
Somebody over here, David wrote Sanctimongers.
Sanctimongers.
Should we have him
there
write Sanctimongers? Sanctimongers in the data slate, or down below
in the chat, in the
chat,
the comments. That's what the word
comments.
Is. Yes, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. If you're just watching this for your first time.
And then one of these times, me and Giacomo actually have to go back and make another Squad Games Redacted podcast. We've only made 2 of them. We got to come up with something that's specifically for patrons only. We talk about, things that are not just Kill Team. I think the last 2 were like crazy nightlife stories from my past job. Quite a fun time. We'll have to think of something else, though, G.
We'll come up with something. We always do.
Yeah, but we're going to sign off from here, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And until next time.
See ya. The Squad Games Podcast is a production of Squad Games Entertainment. For more information on Squad Games, please visit our website at squadgames.net or check out our YouTube channel at Squad Games Entertainment.